News Point at 11.
Good Friday evening. I'm Tanae Howard, and tonight on News Point, an elaborate grow operation busted. The search for the people who were growing magic mushrooms. President Donald Trump also signing new legislation into law today, levying new sanctions against Russia. It also restricts the president's own ability to ease sanctions in place against Moscow. At 4:30, we told you that there were 3 people struck by lightning and 1 was fatally hit. We have just learned within the last 15 minutes that the person thought to be dead originally has regained a pulse and consciousness. Here in Vancouver, where the devil is bringing the heat to the TV screens this winter, we're going to give you some behind the scenes looks, high tense, high stress moments. Then people are going to watch this interview and they're going to say, that's not the same guy.
Oh no, I have good days.
You're quite gentle and tender.
All right, this was a huge, crazy story a couple of weeks ago, right? But now we are actually hearing from the company that's installing microchips into its employees. The tech is being used to do everything from logging onto your computer, unlocking doors, and even paying for a bag of chips. So we came to the Monon Trail with our speedometer to see if we could track Speedy Gonzalez or maybe even find the Roadrunner. Hey there, Dan and Fanchon. We are here with the Clinton campaign, and it is just a mix of emotions going on right now. That's because this race is so tight. A lot of those key battleground states and states that they hope would be toss-ups are just too close to call right now. Mr. Yaz is back with us, guys. Look what just happened. Live TV is just so lovely. This is Brashear Gray. We all know him as Hakeem Lyon. You look great tonight.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much. I just saw you this morning. We're old friends. Now change my dress. You have on a very dapper tailored suit. Who you're wearing tonight?
I'm not even sure, but
it looks great. Just to have you here with us, this was your first time seeing this from our angle. You're usually the guy in charge and, out there making sure that everything goes smoothly. But take this opportunity now to talk to the community here in our area about what you would like to see and all of law enforcement really wants to see beyond this day. They've been waiting for their debut moment. They are stopping by to say good morning to the Fox 59 team. We are watching all of the action. This vantage point is just absolutely amazing. It's the best spot in the house.
News Point at 11.
Good Friday evening. I'm Tanae Howard, and tonight on News Point, an elaborate grow operation busted. The search for the people who were growing magic mushrooms. Plus, if your child is allergic to penicillin, you may want to get them retested. The problems misdiagnosis are creating. But first tonight, we are learning more details about the tragic shooting death of a Southport police lieutenant. Lieutenant Aaron Allen was killed when authorities say someone inside a crashed car. Allen was trying to help open fire. That man has been identified as 28-year-old Jason Brown. He is being preliminary charged with Allen's murder. Fox 59's Trevor Shirley is at the Southport Police Headquarters tonight with the very latest on this investigation. And tonight, Lieutenant Allen's neighborhood is going blue. Neighbors are trying to spread the word to see the blue lights outside as many homes as possible in honor of their fallen hero. Lieutenant Allen leaves behind a wife, a 5-year-old son, and an 18-year-old son. And of the few people who know what this family is dealing with tonight is Jamie Bradway. Her husband, IMPD officer Rod Bradway, was also killed in the line of duty in 2013 when he was shot while saving a woman who was being held at gunpoint. Jamie understands the difficult road ahead facing Allen's family.
You're suddenly thrown out into the public eye, and you're not prepared for that.
Jamie says the Allen family will rely heavily on their law enforcement family for support as they try to get through the next few weeks and beyond. Lieutenant Allen was known as a kind-hearted and generous person to many in the community. We talked to one couple that says thanks to him and his department, Christmas a few years ago was possible.
We had a tree up, but we ain't had nothing up under the tree. And they said they was gonna take care of us.
For the police department to be that close with their community and helping out during Christmas time, for families in need is really a blessing.
Chuck Williams was battling stage 4 cancer, so Lieutenant Allen and other officers brought his family dozens of toys for their little girl. You see the excitement there. The chief said Lieutenant Allen also donated money out of his own pocket to help the family. Officers across central Indiana, thousands of them are grieving this shocking loss, and some could experience anxiety on their next run, especially considering the circumstances of Lieutenant Allen's death. He was responding to a car crash trying to save lives. An IMPD chaplain tells us officers could now be more guarded when taking their next call, but he also added these officers are professionals who will pull through and continue to serve.
The good thing about it, they're professionals. They're surrounded by professionals that will speak into their lives, that will tell them to keep them focused.
Mental health experts also want families to watch their loved ones who are first responders for symptoms of PTSD and get help if they notice any changes in behavior. A GoFundMe page has also been set up for the Southport Police Department by them to help Allen's wife and children. More than $30,000 have been raised so far. If you would like to donate to this family, we do have a link set up for you at fox59.com. In other news tonight, a Brownsburg parent is upset with the school's response to what she's calling a case of inappropriate touching. Her daughter alleges a 7th grader at Brownsburg East Middle School groped her, smacked her, and made lewd comments. The parent says a judge has issued a restraining order, but the school won't separate the student from her daughter. Brownsburg schools say teams of people investigate claims like this to determine how to proceed. The prosecutor tells the Hendricks County Flyer there are no plans to file criminal charges against the boy. An arrest warrant is out for a teacher at the Indiana Christian Academy in Madison County. 29-year-old Stephen Lingo is charged with sexual misconduct with a minor. According to court documents, Lingo wrote letters to a 14-year-old student and touched her inappropriately during study sessions. A former Noblesville instructional assistant faces battery charges tonight. Prosecutors say Ted Weigel touched White River Elementary students. More than half a dozen kids came forward after a body safety class. That's a class to help those children identify inappropriate touching. Noblesville schools say they immediately alerted police. Weigel was fired in February. Police are searching right now for whoever is behind a triple shooting on Indy's northwest side last night. We brought it to you here on Newspoint as breaking news. It happened on Kessler Boulevard North near I-65. We're told 3 men were in a truck when a car pulled up beside them and opened fire. One person was hit in the neck, one in the backside, and another had a graze wound to the forehead. Earlier that day, about 30 community members and IMPD officers met at the church right across the street to talk about creating a neighborhood crime watch program. Tonight, an unusual drug bust in Greenfield, police say caught them by surprise. They found what they believe to be a psychedelic mushroom grow operation. Investigators say they made that discovery Sunday during a security check at a home and also found MDMA weed and white powders. Court documents show one of the people who lived there told police over the phone that they had left to visit family in Terre Haute and, quote, they were growing lettuce for their pet iguana.
I don't think they had actually got a whole lot of developed product done yet. They were just in the process of starting. I would almost wager a bet that they were selling.
Investigators say a 3-year-old child also lived in the home. Police are looking for Allison Schweitzer and Zachary Tatera. Both face a number of drug charges. We are learning more tonight about the man accused of running over 4 Brickyard 400 fans last weekend. Court documents say Colonius Thomas ran over a man and continued driving, dragging him under the golf cart. 3 of the 4 victims are out of the hospital tonight. The person still in the hospital is listed in good condition. Records show Thomas's blood alcohol content was more than 3 times the legal limit. He's due in court next week on drunk driving charges. An argument over deodorant lands this Muncie woman in jail. Court records show Mikhail Holloway threw a pan of hot grease at a woman staying at her place because she thought that woman stole her deodorant. Holloway was arrested for aggravated battery and criminal recklessness. The Muncie School Corporation is on a hiring spree despite facing some pretty steep financial struggles. 36 teachers were hired on Wednesday. Nearly a third of them have no experience. That's because more than 100 teachers resigned or retired amid the district's multi-million-dollar budget shortfall and possible state takeover. The Teachers Association is worried the new teachers won't be ready because school starts next week there in Muncie. but the superintendent says they'll be prepared. The district has hired nearly 90 teachers since April and says it's close to being fully staffed. All right, see you soon. Thanks, Brian. We'll still ahead tonight on Newspoint. Are you allergic to penicillin? Many people say yes. A new study shows that's not true. Coming up, how a false allergy claim could make illnesses harder to treat in the future. And no need to travel to Europe. The plan to mimic those gorgeous villages right here in central Indiana. Plus, go ahead and grab a glass of wine tonight. It's Friday. We're going to tell you why researchers say you should drink wine at least 3 times a week. Stay with us. Walking in that hospital room earlier today to see this 25-year-old woman so badly beaten and battered, it was just something that literally took your breath away. But she sat there with such bravery to tell the story of one of the darkest nights in her life. 25-year-old Carly Hager is not a victim. She's a survivor who lived to tell her story.
And he tried to rip my tongue out with his bare fingers from here all the way up to here. And he succeeded halfway.
From her hospital bed with bruises and bite marks all over her body, Carly recalled the traumatizing episode with her mother by her side. She says she and her now ex-boyfriend, 26-year-old Ryan Cameron, returned home from a wedding Saturday night with friends. After launching a verbal assault, things got physical.
He locked his friends outside of our house and ran to the bathroom and locked us in the bathroom.
That's where Carly says Ryan bit off a piece of her ear and she was beaten until she passed out.
I woke up to Ryan just sitting next to me like he thought I was dead.
Those friends called police, a move Julian Center CEO Catherine O'Connor says may have saved Carly's life.
Those people intervened. They did what they could to stop the situation, and they called the police to make sure something happened to protect this victim. And that's exactly what should happen.
Carly's mother says she didn't see any warning signs, but these visible signs won't define her baby girl.
Her strength and beauty is inside, and the scars will heal. And in time, so will her heart. And I'm incredibly proud of you.
Carly says after a loving 2-year relationship, the mental, verbal, and physical abuse just started about a month ago. She wants this story to warn others not to ignore the signs and know this is not what love looks like.
You have to tell somebody. You can't be embarrassed. You can't be ashamed. You have to tell somebody because I almost died, and it can happen.
And again, 26-year-old Ryan Cameron is in jail tonight facing a list of felony counts in connection to that assault. Now, the family has set up a GoFundMe account to help pay for these medical expenses, as it will be a long road ahead for Carly. We'll have that information for you at fox59.com. From Eskenazi Health, Tanae Howard, Fox 59 News.
Tanae?
Yeah, Dan and Fanchon, it's called Spinraza, and this is something people with spinal muscular atrophy have waited for years. Often diagnosed shortly after birth, a Tipton family says this is their first sign of hope as their son is set to get his first dose of the medicine tomorrow. Most people call him Speedy, and at 9 years old, Alexander Davis isn't letting his spinal muscular atrophy diagnosis slow him down.
We never stop. We were told that he would probably never walk and that there was no treatments and no cure.
It's heartbreaking. It's still really hard today.
Alexander was diagnosed with SMA when he was 1 year old. The rare genetic disease causes weakness and loss of motor skills. It progresses over time. Trials showed Spinraza stopped the advancement of the disease and even improved movement in some patients.
I feel very scared and excited at the same time. I'm very nervous that it's not going to work.
But mom and dad believe this drug will change their lives.
I'm really hopeful that, by the end of the summer that maybe he'll have a little more strength and the ability to have a little more endurance than what he does.
Anywhere from being able to hold his head up better to, being able to swallow, being able to cough when he's, sick.
Sorry, this is too slow.
And even though he enjoys riding his baby sister around in his chair, Alexander is looking forward to one thing.
I would love to snap my Lego pieces and get her all by myself.
An optimistic outlook the Davis family wants to share with other families dealing with SMA.
That there's hope, that even when it seems like the worst thing in the world, these kids are amazing kids.
And Alexander he actually says Tony Kanaan is his favorite driver. You see, he does have a little speed in him as well. SMA is the most common genetic cause of death in infants. This is the first approved treatment for the debilitating disease. Fanchon.